going on, fam bam? We are just about to get started here. And man, it just seems like it's just never ending. We just want this RAM situation to end. Mr. Samaldolfo, what's up? What's going on? Welcome in. Glad everyone's coming in. Just about to get this feed started and ready to go. Almost forgot my mic. It was sitting over in the corner and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I need this. What's up, Wasabi? Happy to see that you did great on your stream. I gotta say, not on your stream, but your video. Awesome, well put together, especially for a first video. I gotta say it was impressive. And I got some really funny news for you guys coming up. Get this. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. What's up, guys? Welcome, fam bam. Welcome, everybody who is just coming in. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech, and with the latest news with DDR5 and the whole situation with NAND and the whole issues we have with GPUs. It just seems like it just gets grayer and grayer each day. Like at the point now, it seems like everything's pitch black because it just seems that there is no type of light coming in at all whatsoever. What's up, Dojin? No, you didn't ruin my lunch. Don't worry, Wasabi. I certainly enjoyed it, though. I gotta say, almost choked on my food a couple times there. Yeah, High Guard and Hightail. I haven't got to play yet. I've been so busy with all the different streams and everything I've been doing with the streams and the videos and the shorts. But I haven't got to check it out. How is it, by the way? I'm still like catching up on that side. Because currently I've been really focused on the whole PC hardware side. And unfortunately it just seems like it's getting worse. And I gotta say, I don't know if you guys saw it. And I gotta say it's ridiculous. Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Costco. More than likely you guys are, because that's more of a worldwide thing. Well, Costco, apparently with their pre-built PCs, they had them sitting in stores. And I guess someone had the nerve, because times are pretty desperate right now. And it's really hard to get some RAM. And one of the Costco workers apparently went over to the desktop and noticed that the RAM was missing. It was missing. So they ended up taking out all the RAM and all the desktop PCs they had inside of Costco. So just for your information, Twitch is oh, okay. I gotcha. Thanks for reminding me, Wasabi. I always end up doing that. Thank you for letting me know. I'll make sure to fix that real quick. So fam bam guys, what is your experience so far? If you're trying to get some RAM, or if you're trying to get some GPUs or some SSDs, I gotta say on the SSD front, it's also not looking great as well. If you have noticed, SSDs have nearly went double. It's probably a lot more now. It's been a little bit since I've checked the whole NVMe markets. I wanted to check with you guys. Yeah, yes. Yeah, wasn't that pretty crazy? It's hilarious. Someone on PCMR ended up posting it. This stream... Well, that's just something I typed up there. It wasn't me, it was Waffle. Salute to... oh, that's funny. Now I gotta kick was... oh, no. Did Waffle get to see your video too? Okay, so now it's fixed, guys. Anybody can talk into Twitch now. Bro, at this point, we are now worried about it. Manufacturers are going to survive. I was lucky. I got my 6400 megahertz, 64 gigabytes RAM back in 2023 to avoid this disaster. You know what's funny? I'm glad that Wasabi actually mentioned it during his video, because he actually brought up the whole situation about he had 64, I think it was a 64 gigabyte kit, and he mentioned that that kit now is worth quite a bit of money. Anybody with 64 gigabytes of memory is making out like a bandit. It's insane what you have to really go through in order to get something like, say, 6400 megahertz at CL28. Just imagine how expensive that is. And we're going to check out Micro Center, guys, because I am really curious on how the pricing is looking. Of course, today is one of the days. Let me see. Today's the 20th, 28th. So tomorrow's actually the day when the 9850X3D ends up releasing. So I'm curious if there's going to be any cases when that comes out. Because that's practically the same thing as the 9800X3D, but now it's just 400 megahertz quicker. That's it. So I paid $240 for it back then. Zotac said that they may go bankrupt. Really? They said that. Zotac said that they may go bankrupt soon. That's quite stunning if that's the case. Imagine me with 96 gigabytes of D. Oh man, you could buy probably two. Let me see, 5090s, if that, because obviously the prices of GPUs have went up. Hopefully you guys ended up getting some GPUs if you needed it. Wait, was it relatively new for the Costco to remove the? Yeah, I mean, I guess it may not be new or may be new. It was just reported from somebody on PCMR. They reported it. And I think a few other news outlets like Video Cards had ended up picking up on the news as well. So because of the shortage, it's a decent idea. It's like practically keeping gold inside of your store. It's just accessible. Like anybody can open up a PC case and just pull them out. Just imagine that poor PC, like when you take out the RAM sticks, like if it was still on and they just end up pulling the sticks and it just ends up like hard freezing. Oh man. Oh, that's rough. I bought two kits of 32 gigabytes each, bought back in January and paid around 250 euros for both. Now, same purchases would be equal to 1,000 euros. Now, that's insane. NVIDIA stopped 50. Yes, and that's, the funny thing is NVIDIA swore that they are not going to stop any production when it comes to their GPUs. They said that they will keep producing 16 gigabyte cards and higher, but it seems it's slowed down quite significantly. And we're going to go into Micro Center to take a look at their current selection because it is not looking good. Also, I use Linux. That 64 gigabytes of RAM will go a long way compared to the bloated AI. It's a shame. I gotta say, Windows 11 is ridiculous. And I'm surprised at some people's defense when it comes to Windows. The biggest problem too, if you notice that Windows 11 actually has ended up losing users within the last 6 months. So originally Windows 11 actually had 55% user base, and now it's down to 50%. And guess who has the higher market share when it comes to the Windows base? It's Windows 10. Windows 10 has made a comeback. So even though it's not supported anymore and they don't have any more security updates, people are willing to go to Windows 10 just to avoid Windows 11. So the price of RAM just completely switching. That's just disgusting. I hate that fact that they want to switch over to HBMs. Just imagine if NVIDIA starts making these graphics cards with HBMs. They're not going to be affordable for anyone. It's going to be crazy expensive, especially if they go HBM4. The price of RAM just makes me annoyed. I didn't jump on the few different kits of 64 gigabytes and 96 gigabytes and 128 gigabytes last summer when RAM prices were normal. And it was like $100 for, yeah, and that was the average price. We went to do this AMD RX 9070 XT build. We went to Micro Center, got some, the price for 6,000 megahertz of CL36, as you see, where if you don't know is roughly around like about a little bit over $300, like around $325, $330. But if you went to go purchase it back in March of 2025 or even September of 2025, you could end up buying that same RAM kit for just $90. So it wasn't even in the triple digits. It was actually just under $100. You could purchase it just for $90 for a decent kit of RAM. It was actually one of the cheapest kits that you could end up upgrading on your PC without really spending any real money besides fans. Even it's crazy to think that fans were actually technically a bit more expensive. Like if you got the triple pack from Corsair and you ended up getting like the full out, I think the QX 120s, and you got the triple pack for that, that was more expensive than purchasing RAM. So 768 gigabytes of DDR5. I watched a video the other day and I removed the last up. Oh, really? Remember when AMD used HBM2 on their GPUs? Yes. And that's funny. We're going to see a return of that. We're going to see HBM starting to go into graphics cards. I don't know if you guys got to see the latest video yet, but I did kind of bring up some points about how they are kind of focused, especially Intel. They're focused into breaking into the whole AI market share, or more of the content creation market share when it comes to their GPUs. They are coming out, well, it's rumored at least, the B65 and the B70, the Battle Mage GPUs that everybody has been waiting for. The card actually has even up to between 24 to even up to 32 gigabytes of GPU usage. But the problem is it's not going to be meant for gaming. It's going to be meant for more of a memory pool for those who are interested in doing things like if you're more interested in doing AI, or if you're doing more of content creation. Unfortunately, they don't want to tap the gaming market just yet when it comes to it, because they feel that it's going to be very hard to compete to the likes of Nvidia and also AMD when it comes to GPUs. But hopefully Intel does change their mind. I believe that AMD and Nvidia are going to be very focused on that as well. It kind of almost reminds me back then when, if anybody has listened to the Jensen Huang interview with Joe Rogan, it was really quite interesting. The reason why I had to bring this up is because when he was speaking to Joe Rogan about this, and how Nvidia really became big, it was all thanks to the gamers. Just to let everybody know, it was thanks to the gamers that Nvidia became what it was. And now it's become quite the monstrosity to the point where they want to break through another market. So they feel like they've grown out this whole gaming phase. But I think that Nvidia will continue to create GPUs for the gaming side, at least, because they are pretty much the top dog when it comes to GPUs. As you know, many gamers do preferably choose Nvidia GPUs. But to get to the point, he's already broken into the market when it came to gaming GPUs. Now, Jensen Huang also has the same idea when it comes to AI, and I bet with his GPUs, he's probably thinking along the lines with as Intel, and the same with AMD when it comes to breaking into the AI side of GPU usage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start designing cards specifically just for AI. So let me get back here. I currently got the 7900 XTX. I guess at this point, I'm going to hold on to it until the market dies with this market. I hate Nvidia with a pride. I can understand. It's almost like you literally watch Nvidia was once the hero and now has become the villain. It's become, because it's so powerful to the point where it's like they're just pretty much a monopoly when it comes into the gaming side. It's a shame how small the AMD market share is when it comes to GPUs. Highly underrated cards. If anybody has a chance, please try the AMD RX 9070 XT if you are looking to upgrade. Don't be scared to enter a AMD GPU. You will be surprised how phenomenal that their cards are. So us regular consumers went irrelevant long ago. Agreed. The 7900 XTX is a great card as long as you don't need to play with ray tracing. Yes, it can be. It can. That's the thing. That's how Nvidia sells you, because it's RTX, it's ray tracing, it's path tracing. That's what ends up selling their cards, because you have to get the latest and the greatest models when it comes to Nvidia's software, and that's where they get people to purchase their cards. Same thing with the multi-frame generation when it comes to say with DLSS 4.5. So that's how they get their customers. They know how to market really well. I just wish AMD was able to speak up for themselves. It's almost like they're scared to really show what they have. I mean, they have such great technology as well. When it comes to Their AFMF2, which is their fluid motion, is excellent. In fact, it's so good that NVIDIA even borrowed their technology from AMD when it came to their multi-frame gen, or when it comes to their DLSS. So if anybody wants to try a AMD card or wants to check it out, it's great for anyone that has a 1080 monitor, 1080p, or if you want to go with a ultra wide, like a 1440p. I'm sure it would perform great as well when it comes to 4K, but of course, when it comes to textures and ray tracing, the 9070 XT has excelled compared to its predecessor, but it's not going to be as good as, say, the 50 series. It's just one generation behind, but it's gotten a lot better. So it's practically like a 40 series. But when it comes to the pad tracing, that's where they do lack, is the pad tracing side. But not everybody's going to be trying to go pad tracing on a 4K display. So I use 1080p so I can handle actually my games with ray tracing over 100 frames. It just seems like it's been a really bad pass for that resolution though. If you're dual booting Windows and a Linux distro, Radeon cards seem to be more cross-platform friendly. I believe more and more people are going to be willing to go to Linux. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that shift go to like it's now like roughly about 10% Linux users. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year if we start reaching towards like the 15% mark at least, because there's so many different distros out there that can fit so many people's needs. So I'm thinking of putting an RTX 5070 in my i9-9900K build with, I think the CPU will it just depends on what kind of games you play. It will bottleneck if you're playing like especially Unreal Engine 5 titles. It's going to definitely bottleneck then. But if you don't play any real Unreal Engine 5 titles or any demanding engines, it won't be as bad. So let me see. Like in Quake 2, RTX on the high preset, I can get over 150 frames, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I get about 180 frames with maxed out settings with ray tracing. Insane. Yeah, that I could see it. I could see it with Quake 2. Well, CUDA cores are just too well, that's the advantage too, is especially if for those who want to take advantage of things like CUDA cores, especially if you're in content creation, if you're more of a DaVinci user, that's going to be certainly an advantage that NVIDIA does have. Until we just have to hope that one company has a breakthrough. Let's hope that AMD has a breakthrough. It would be a nice change. We really need competition. I don't know why one crowd wants to see the other go away. Like, for example, you'll have like, say, Team NVIDIA's crowd just say, oh, I don't want to see like these AMD cards anymore. They're not superior. It's good to have competition, because if there's competition, then the pricing will become much more fair. You won't have to pay $4,000 or $5,000 for a RTX 5090. It'll become much more of a leveled playing field. So I remember when Linux was, yeah, that's the insane part, right? It just shows you how much interest there is in other OSs ever since Windows 11 was released. How terrible it's been. It's just been nonstop issues after issues, especially back in August. I remember someone did mention about how they said that it's been going down ever since the new takeover, which could possibly be true. I agree. But there has been an article that was pushed out that said that Microsoft was moving to 25 to 30% code over to AI related tasks for updates. So this is one of the main reasons. I don't know how they're getting through this whole quality control side when it comes to these updates, or who's testing it, or they're letting AI test it. I wouldn't be surprised. But if that's the case, it's obviously not doing them any good, because it's going through updates, through patch, and then another patch, and then a patch on top of the patch that's broken. So tell me how that makes sense. Do you think a 5700X3D will bottleneck on 857? Not as of now. The 5700X3D is actually still a very decent processor. So I don't believe you're going to really face any bottlenecking until you meet a highly required game that's going to be really pulling out your CPUs, such as like Borderlands 4 or titles such as Black Myth Wukong. I don't even think then Black Myth Wukong you'll be good. It's going to be more like Borderlands 4, maybe Monster Hunter's Wilds, but that's been fixed. That's the crazy thing, is that they're going to have to focus on optimizing the games. That's what they're going to have to do now, especially because of the limited capacity when it comes to RAM and when it comes to SSDs. So I'm glad I got back into Linux back in 2020 before it was cool. I remember messing with Linux for the very first time when I was younger. And when I was, the first time I got into it, like right after I got out of high school and messed with it, I gotta say it was quite interesting, especially how you had to really go to the terminal to really be able to open up all your programs, be able to download certain updates, be able to tell it certain commands. But it was quite the learning experience. It was fun. And of course, I know some people out there may not like it, but it certainly got a lot more refined since then. Now they actually have, everything's a lot more accessible compared to what it used to be. The GUI is much better, of course, as well, so you can actually open up apps just like how you would with Windows pretty much. So I gotta say, if you haven't tried Linux, give it a shot. Go into like VirtualBox and give it a shot and see how you would like it. I'd say the only reason to stick to Windows is if you need it for like certain games. Certain games are going to be picky about Windows, like Battlefield 6. You have to have Windows in order to play Battlefield 6 because of the anti-cheat. If otherwise, it would be compatible if hopefully the team does work on it. It'd be awesome if they did it. But there's certain games that are not Linux friendly just quite yet. But there is a lot of options, especially thanks to Proton, that certainly has helped the experience become so much better when it comes to Linux and gaming. So I have a 7700X with a Gigabyte B650 Mobo, thinking of getting a 9850X3D. Okay, so about the 9850X3D. Now, here's the real talk about it. The 9850X3D is not going to be that much more advanced than the 9800X3D. Now, just to give you an idea, as I was looking into it a bit more as well, I know many people are interested in the 9850X3D, but I can tell you that from the 9800X3D, there's literally a 0 at the maximum to 5% increase. That's it. So you might not even see increase depending on the type of silicon that you do end up buying, because they all have different grades of silicon when you end up purchasing a processor. So you might end up picking a good one, you might end up picking a bad one, and it might end up equaling out to be a pretty much a 9800X3D. So if you want to save a little bit of money, like if you want to save the $50, you can go with the 9800X3D and you'll be perfectly happy. But if you want to get the best in today's AMD's processors, then you can go ahead and get the 9850X3D. Of course, it's not guaranteed on which bin you're going to get when it comes to their silicon, but let's hope that you do end up picking up something decent. So let me see. Windows 11 had so many bugs. Yes, I agree. There is still a lot of bugs. And one thing Windows has a problem, which Linux has no problem with doing this at all, is the fact that they're able to not use as much system usage when it comes to your RAM. So for example, if you had 32 gigabytes of RAM, it's going to use roughly about say 8 to 10 gigabytes when you use Microsoft, when you use Windows 11. But when you're using it on something like Linux, it's barely using anything. Now, here's the funny part. If you go and upgrade, like say you're like, okay, no problem, I'll just upgrade my memory, and then it's going to still use that same 8 to 10 gigabytes. Windows says, no, I'm not going to just let you use 8 to 10 now. you're going to be using between 15 to, let's say, like 15 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes of RAM just for Windows. For some reason, when it sees more RAM, it's going to want to use more. But for Linux, it's like, it's just extra RAM. I don't need it. So I thought it was a miss. So I list a set of Corsair DDR5 4800 megahertz memory and sold within 5 minutes. Wow, that's insane. That quick. Well, did you put it up on eBay, was it? Or did you put it up like on a forum, like on Reddit or something, and you sold it for that quick? Oh, eBay. Okay, I see it. eBay did it. So the 9850 XRD makes no sense if you already have a Zen 5 CPU. Yes, going from a 7700X, I'm assuming he wants to get it, the V cache. That's the main purpose of it. He wants to get it for improved gaming purposes. I could get that. But if you're upgrading, like more of a linear upgrade would be like a 7800 XRD, and you're looking for a little bit of an IPC boost, which would only give it like maybe 10 to 15%. But for the 7700X, I can see the 9850 XRD seems like a full skip. Doesn't seem worth the extra heat. Yeah, and that's a problem. I'm waiting. I know everybody out there is waiting, because the smart people out there, when seeing this 9850 XRD, are going to sit back and wait to see exactly what happens, because they're going to see if there's going to be some type of issue with burn-in. As you know, with the Ryzen 9800 XRD and the motherboards, it's been quite a few cases of the SoC burning up because of its high voltage. As I mentioned in the video, ASRock was originally, technically it's ASRock, once uses a much more aggressive profile compared to a lot of the motherboards that you see out there. And originally they were like the ones to go to, because it seemed like something changed about them, especially when it came to the whole, when it came to the X670Es and the X870Es. Like, and I almost ended up getting a Riptide, in fact, like, because it seemed like it was going to be an interesting motherboard. But then the cases started coming out about burnt CPUs, and specifically, again, with the CPU that I currently have, which is the 9800 XRD, all because of high usage from the SoC voltage, which was equivalent to, like, they were pulling at least like 1.35, 1.5, and some of them were even higher, till even up all the way up to like 1.9, which is really hot for SoC like the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. So when cases like that keep coming up, and that AMD refuses to mention anything about it, like it's not really their fault, or it's not really the microcode inside their processor, and more or so that it has to do with firmware updates when it comes to the BIOS, then it becomes tricky. It's like, why at that point would you release something if it's like almost not fully proven yet? Like, you still haven't fine-tuned it to the point where you're just willing to just hurry up and release it to the public. I get it, it's a great CPU, but hopefully they can get the priorities a lot more straight when it comes to people's firmware, because again, this is people's money here. This is not like you're spending about like $450 for a processor, and then you're spending decent money on a motherboard too. They're not cheap anymore. Like, to buy a motherboard, it's like $300 or $400 if you want a decent motherboard. So again, you're spending almost nearly like $800-900 with this combo together, and you could run into issues like this. So imagine you had $2,000 today and you want to build a PC. What parts would I pick? I would probably sit and wait, because I actually am really interested in the Asus Neo motherboards. I would really love to try out their new AIO system. They have a new quick connect when it comes to their AIOs. It would make it much more easier to connect it for all you guys that would love, like, say, a Ryujin 4, or they have a new one. I forget the model name of it, but they do have another AIO that looks quite interesting as well. And it's easy to set up, no extra wires. I'd probably go for something like that. And then if it came for the processor side, I'd probably sit back and wait for the 9950X3D2 if I had that $2,000. But if I was within constrained with that $2,000 budget, I would be I would be a lot more refined when it comes to decisions. I would hope that they would come out with the 9600X. If not, I would go with the 9600X3D specifically. But if they don't, that's fine. I would go with probably like something a little bit lower tier, maybe something more of the 7600X3D. And then probably select, again, the lower tier of the Neo motherboards because they all have Nitro Path, which is great when it comes to the RAM. Also, I probably end up getting a RX 9070 XT as well. It can definitely be done. For $2,000, it can be done. The tricky part would be the memory. I would specifically make sure to see if Micro Center has a kit for it. If they don't, then I probably would have to kind of modify my kit a little bit and go with the Micro Center kit to help save cost. But my desktop environment is the sway tilling Windows Manager on a fresh boot, only if I use around 1 gigabyte of my 64 gigabytes of RAM. So, hey, the problem has only arrived since I bought the... Yeah, exactly. I've been hearing that a lot lately. There's a lot of concern out there. Don't be crazy concerned unless you're overclocking. Unless you're one of the guys out there that goes into the BIOS and actually manually sets everything, then there can be some concern, especially if you put on PBO and you start using the curve optimizer. Just make sure the key is just try to keep that SoC voltage at 1.2. You want to keep it at that level. You can turn on expert profiles and everything. Just manually set it at 1.2 if you want to play it safe. If you want to go balls out, that's on you then. Give it a shot. And then if something happens, feel free to let me know because I would love to know what you did to make it burn out. So the 9850X3D seems like AMD's. Yes, pretty much. It's pretty much just like that. I feel like they just had so many made because if you guys remember the 9800X3D when they first ended up releasing, they actually had so many of them that well, not really many of them. It was like pretty short. Like it sold out quick. Everybody wanted the 9800X3D. And then it seems like you got to the point where they made so many of them and they're like, hey, like, what should we do with the rest of these? And they're like, hey, I have an idea. Let's make a 9850X3D. So one more question. Thoughts about the upcoming NVIDIA? Oh, so you're worried about that. The NVIDIA's CPU release, I gotta say that would be quite interesting. Now, this is going to be more on a laptop base. So I gotta say, I'm really curious to see how it goes up against something like Panther Lake. Now, the funny thing is, it's like Intel kind of worked with NVIDIA on this. So I gotta say, it's interesting. I want to see what kind of results they yield when it comes to battery life, when it comes to gaming, when it comes to benchmarks. I am curious about the whole 9 yards when NVIDIA does come out with it. Hopefully, the biggest problem I do have with it is hopefully the software is a bit more refined because, as you know, it's been a little while since NVIDIA came out with their version of a SoC. So for them to come out with one, you know it's going to be a bit buggy in some areas. But I would like to know exactly where the bugs are. What's up, Slim Shady? I got my Gigabyte X 870E Ors Master for $380 new for Christmas. I thought that was a steal. Yes, that's a great deal. In fact, that's a awesome deal. I love that motherboard. It's practically toolless when you're able to work on a motherboard such as the Gigabyte Ors Master. I'm certainly excited to do the Z890 once we get these parts coming in. I was hoping to get some of the parts today. I would be unboxing some stuff for you guys to show you what's come in, but nothing has arrived yet. Hopefully sometime, or I'm hoping by Friday, and then I'll unbox some more stuff for you guys on Saturday. Use 7800 X3D would be a great option as well. So Ryzen 9 9950X is better in terms of creativity. Yes, you know why? Because it can take a lot more wattage compared to something like a like a 9950, not the 9950 X3D, but then like a 9800 X3D. It's because it's more designed for creators out there because it's more CPU performance than actually splitting up, like actually using Vcache for things like gaming. But it's also great in gaming as well. But if you're more focused on doing things like creator wise, or you're more focused on like graphical design, yes, the 9950X would be best for that type of case. So it's a good motherboard pairing for my 9950 X3D. Absolutely. Definitely have to get the best when it comes to it. I buy $2,000 of RAM and then and then resell it. You know, pretty soon it's gonna get to the point where we're gonna go into places like Best Buy or Micro Center, and it's gonna be like a jewelry store. If you guys have never really got to experience what it's like to go into a jewelry store, when you walk in, you're going to get buzzed in, and then right between the door, there's another door for you to walk through, but you also have to get buzzed in through that door as well. And then once you get through, then that's when you meet the jeweler, and then from there, he's gonna be there with a kit of RAM, and he's or like a little test kit, and then he's gonna have like a little eyeglass to make sure that all the LEDs are working when your RGBs on your RAM, and then he's also going to put it inside. He's gonna put that bus inside of a motherboard to see what type of speeds, if it's really accurate, if it's really 6,000 megahertz, if it's actually CL30. So it's gonna get to that point. If it continues like this, it's going to be ridiculous the kind of demand it's going to be. Setting up my OBS while listening. Oh, yeah, good luck with the OBS. It's a hell of a time, I gotta say. OBS can be quite finicky. LSG, what's up? Oh, so also I gotta give a big thanks to LSG out there for willing to take over the moderator role on Discord. So he's also the moderator on Discord. If you're not part of the Discord community, feel free to join. Anybody's free to also join. And if you have any questions, you want to show off your battle rigs, that is certainly the place to go ahead and do that. So big thanks to LSG for taking over. Unfortunately, we had quite an incident that happened on Discord, and it's been properly taken care of. Hopefully, that mishaps doesn't happen once again. So the higher end bundles increase in price again. Yes, and that's what we're gonna get into, guys. We will get over into the Micro Center, and as you see, the pricing has also have increased when it comes to their bundles. For their Ryzen 7 7800 X3D bundle is now $650. That's so funny. Waffle Skater. Oh, that's right. That just reminds me of something too, guys. But speaking of which, when it comes to their bundles, originally Micro Center had their bundles for about, what was it? Let me sign in here real quick. Okay. It was my stream buy to end up signing in, and I forgot that was it completely signed in. But anyway, originally they had the bundles for as low as $500. You could get a decent bundle, decent deals for $500. But now it seems that they're really pushing the $650 bundle. So it's gone up like about $150 since they really came out with these bundles once again. So I got a Ryzen 9 to 3900X, Overclock Wars 3070 Ti XPG 32 gigabytes, getting about 130 on Cyberpunk, DLSS, and AMD FSR. Quick question. How are you getting AMD FSR and DLSS? That is my question. But I'm assuming you mean DLSS. I'm sure you can be able to push the frames. I don't see you having any issues when it comes to Cyberpunk, especially because they've done a really good job optimizing the game. I haven't got to play though, Liberty City. What do you guys think of Liberty City real quick? What's your RAM aisle look like? We're going to go there soon. We are going there soon, Waffle Skater. When we go there, I will show you. It was insane. Originally it was an end cap. if you guys been to the stream before, my Micro Center streams, or if you've been to the Miami Micro Center, it's just they have an aisle. They actually have an aisle and they have an end cap. But last time we went, it was the end cap that had all the RAM in it. And over on the aisle side, it was like pretty much empty. But that was a while ago. That was back in November when we went to get the Asus Noctua RTX 5080. So, uh, 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 yes. I also like how the 9950X 3D is power efficient. I can easily get away with my dual tower Noctua air cooler and it never gets 80 degrees under load. I'm telling you, Noctua is awesome when it comes to their cooling. If anybody wants some decent cooling, give it a shot. Like, give Noctua air cooling a shot if you don't want to go AIO. And I get it. I can understand why people don't want to go AIO. Have you seen cases where people actually took apart their AIO and there was like no water coming out? Or they've had it for so long that they really didn't pay attention or really see if the temperatures had increased. So usually with when it comes to PCs, I highly recommend using Hardware Info 64. Now that's great. I don't care if you have a 9800 X3D or not, or if you have an Intel processor, or if you have an AMD or NVIDIA GPU. But if you have a PC, get Hardware Info. It's super important for everyone to have it. It will give you critical information when it comes to your voltages and your temperatures. So if something goes wrong, you'll see it turn red, and take it pretty serious if something like that happens, because that can also prevent damage from coming to your PC. So make sure to download Hardware Info 64, one of the best tools, and it's absolutely free. You can highlight specific areas, like for example your processor if you want, or you want to highlight your graphics card, or even it tracks pretty much anything that you have on your PC, from your RAM to your SSDs. But certainly the best tool to have. It, so it works, bro. No, what? No, no way. That makes no sense. Silly question. But do you have any recommendations on overclocking and what? No. Don't tell me you. I'll just use the guy to ask. He's actually in the middle of a Threadripper build. You want to really overclock a. Why? I just got to say why. That you don't want to use it for that. You're not. I get you get 7% performance, but that doesn't. Like, if you get 7% better performance, last time I've seen the test with this whole 6000 series, when it comes to NVIDIA's, when it comes to their Blackwell, between a 5090, it was not that much of a difference. It was more like maybe like I would say like maybe a 2 or 3% difference. The only difference is that it has the larger memory pool, because it's 96 gigabytes compared to 32 gigabytes. But nobody's even really touches 32 gigabytes yet, like when it comes to the 5090. So, and they're practically the same GB201. So it's like, I don't really see that much of a difference. Like if you're using it, workstation edition. If you really want to overclock it, you can, but you're going to have to use something like Afterburner. And you adjust it through there. I believe I have a video on it, but check out the video. Yeah, you're going to have to use something like MSI Afterburner, and you're going to have to adjust the settings through there. What you would do is you're going to adjust the, I don't know why you would do this. Again, on a Blackwell, on a workstation card. But anyway, that's what you would use. No, you can use FSR fine on NVIDIA cards. Oh. No, I'm saying like if he's using DLSS and FSR at the same time. That's what I'm curious about. What's up, what's up, Ernesto? What's up, Havy? Sorry I got to you guys so late. I'm like so wrapped up into in all these topics right now. My Noctua air cooler will outlive my whole. You know what the crazy thing is? Like when it came to Noctua coolers, I actually had a Noctua fan like from back in 2000 and I think 12 or 13. And you know how it ended up breaking? All because my dumbass, like when I grabbed my PC, I had my thumb on the fan. So when I picked it up, it cracked the fan blade. So I would have still had that fan if I didn't do that. But yes, I feel Noctua has excellent quality when it comes to their PCs. So hint guys, do not pick up your PC with your thumb on a fan blade. So I'm looking for a 420 millimeter AIO with the best 420 millimeter AIO for a 9950X 3D. I mean, 9950X. So 420 Arctic. Look up Arctic. They make some really decent AIOs. That's 420. And there's going to be a lot of different variations. Corsair even has one now if you're interested in like using Corsair products. But Arctic is the number one, I would say. And then you can even take a look at Corsair. I think there's another one on my mind too. But when the other one comes on my mind, I will definitely share with you. So we're going to look at AMD bundles, and let's see how this looks. Mr. Samadolfo says Micro Center sells bundles with AMD Ryzen 5 7500 X3Ds, Pro B850M, Wi-Fi 6E, CPU. Oh, really? $400. Okay, so here we go. We're seeing the bundles now. It looks a little bit different. They changed it up the page. So yes, I do see some. $350 for a 7600X and a B650E, not too bad, with 16 gigabytes of G-Skill Flare X5. So if we click into this, Ricardo, I see. Yes. Oh, I get it. I do get it. If you take a look at this motherboard and the RAM and the processor, it's actually pretty decent. Especially that CL36, not too bad. And believe it or not, sometimes the PC can actually run on one stick of RAM better than it can run on dual, ironic as that sounds. Which I will conduct some tests on that just to confirm that basis, but we will do some tests to see how that works out. But yeah, for $350, this would be great for anyone to start off with. If you're concerned about building a PC and how expensive it could be, it's best to starting off with something like this. A 7600X is actually great to start off with an Asus B650E. And then with the GPU, that's where it gets questionable because the pricing is just insane. Let me show you how insane it is. We'll look at the GPU here. What's up, Z-Man? What's going on? Who's getting am I gonna get the 9850X3 Unreal? Depends. It really depends. If I get it, it would be because I'm doing a build specifically. I wouldn't do it to upgrade. It would be specifically into another build. And if that happens, I would love to test it compared to the 9800X3D. Even though I know the idea already. Again, it's only a 400 megahertz difference compared to the 9800X3D. It's not going to be that much of a difference. I don't expect to see that much of a difference as well. Personally, what I would want to wait for is the 9950X3D2. I'm really curious to see how it's going to work out, especially if they end up opting in for dual memory Vcache. That would be interesting. you know what's funny, Carlo? You know what's funny, Ricardo, is that somebody of course is probably in here watching. But I wouldn't try it if I will void the warranty. You won't see that much of a difference. I'm a game developer looking to run local AI models while I game. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Just curious if, not really. To be honest, you're gonna be great with your card. It's gonna be great as it is. To be honest with you. I replaced it with an IQ, but with RGB's LEDs. Oh, really? I like how they got the selection going here now. They got the RTX 50 series, of course, the 40 series. And how did we end up going strictly to NVIDIA? Oh, there's Radeon. It's literally right under the column. How did I not see that? So say we click Radeon, the RX 9000 series. I paid $250 for that bundle like a few years ago. But I'm just sure I'm getting it. Just say I got it. LOL. So I only speak from experience. Used 4 of their coolers and all exceeded my expectations. I don't know the rest. So do you think the 7600X3D is good for 4K with my 5090? Yes. Yes, at the moment, I think it's going to be great. It's actually going to work great for your PC. You're not going to have really issues when it comes to it. There's not going to be any type of bottlenecking when it comes to gaming on a 5090 because you have so much capacity there. Plus, on a 7600 X3D, where you do have that V cache that you can take advantage of. Of course, you can always push further if you want to, but I believe you're going to get all the frames that you're looking for. If you're trying to push, say, like up to 240 hertz and 4K, I would highly suggest then you're going to have to be forced to use something like DLSS 4.5. It certainly has improved. So if anyone ends up using something like DLSS 4.5, what you would do is make sure to have DLSS 4.5 on, like whether you have it for performance or if you have it on performance or quality, depending on what you're looking for. And then make sure to have NVIDIA Reflex on, most importantly, and make sure to have your G-Sync on as well when it comes to your monitor. If you have those three items all connected together, then it should work in harmony. It's going to work great. If you have one of the three out, it's not going to look so pretty. In fact, it's gonna you'll end up losing performance if that's the case. So just make sure that all three of those are on. Whether it's NVIDIA's Reflex, make sure it's on. Make sure your G-Sync is on, and make sure to have the DLSS 4.5 on, whether if it's performance or if it's going to be on quality. So look up some of Gamers Next's videos on the latest Corsair Sand. Why do you think Ricardo says that? It's funny, a lot of companies are doing it. You know what threw me off though? If you guys were with me at CES, I gotta say, what the hell? Oh my god, it went up that quick. 9070 XT. We just looked at this a few days ago. It was at $650. It went up $100. Now it's $700. That's insane. It went up $50 again. It should be a lot cheaper than that. It should originally be at that $600 mark, but it's definitely going up quite a bit. But yeah, to get my mind back on it, yes, Razer. I gotta say, Razer, it's great gaming company, especially for anyone that's just getting into gaming PCs, want to get their mice, their keyboard. But I gotta say, it's really interesting to see them wanting to enter the whole race to get to try to get involved with AI, because now they got server racks, which is insane. Like, who would have thought Razer would want server racks out of all these companies? And then like Corsair, from what I'm hearing, that they're also trying to get interested. They're also interested in like server racks and everything as well when it comes to AI. So it's like you get these companies that were for the gamers, and now it's like all of a sudden they're just like completely switch sides. And then I guarantee you, like once this whole thing is over, this whole debacle, you're gonna see, well, we can't get any business on the AI side, so let's go back to the gamers. I'm just curious to see how many people out there would be willing to give any of those companies that left us a chance. Like, for example, if Micron, obviously they were one of the first ones to leave us, like when it comes to just PC overall, not just the gaming side, but over on the PC market. And they ended up going with the AI side because they want to create more HBMs. So imagine if they came back and said, hey, we changed our minds. We want to come back. We're going to make a comeback. We want to come out with more SSDs. We want to come out with more RAM kits for you guys. What do you guys think of that? I'm going to throw a poll up there for you guys, and you let me know what you think. So if Crucial returned, would you give them a chance? And that would be my question here. And the poll is on. So all you have, in order to vote on the poll, you just put 1 or 2. Let me know what you think. So look, I know a lot of companies are doing it, but Corsair said hold. I had to laugh at that. That was hilarious. Yes, I could see that. Can you show a stream on how to set up the NVIDIA app to enable DLSS? Oh yeah, sure. I'll do a stream like that. Well, I'm gonna have to do it my other build because this one is the streaming build. So I'll do it. You know what? I'll probably do it on this Saturday. Make sure to tune in on Saturday, and I'll do it then. I'll just switch to my other PC, and then I'll show you how to set it up. That won't be a problem. For people who can't get cards, consider Quadros.
Leighton Blankenship subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. For people who can't get gaming cards, consider Quadros. They are still selling this less than gaming cards. Great tip. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, especially for anyone that is desperate and looking for cards, because this is ridiculous. Even their, how's this make sense? How's this? I'm looking at this, right? They have the Challenger Triple Fan, 16 gigabytes, GDDR6. It says 16 gigabytes. So I don't think that's right. So far we got a 50-50 mix on the people giving Crucial a chance for their return. So I'm curious to see how many people out there would give a company a chance, especially if they switched over to the AI side. Because we're going to, I have a feeling we might get shocked with a few companies out there. I wouldn't be surprised if just said, for example, if Razer just said, packed up their bags and said, you know what, we want to go full out all AI. If that happens, that'd be pretty insane. Like, just known as an AI company. But what do you guys think of that Project Ava though? Project Ava, they got Project Motoko coming. What do you guys feel about that? About their new AI companion or their headphones? Crucial, I'll hug them with a kiss. Depends on how they return. I should be around. Okay, perfect. I was able to snipe an open box 9060 XT, 16 gigabytes for my son for under 300. Oh, awesome. That's not bad. It performs really well. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, like, if anyone is thinking of getting a GPU, look into it. It's worth getting an AMD card. It's a worthy alternative. Look, they have 25 over in stock. So it's a great option, and you know where the price is going in a month from now. It's not going to go down. It's going to go the opposite spectrum. It's going to go up. So if you don't need a GPU, I highly recommend it, because in the last 3 days it went up $50, which is insane. So gold, silver, copper prices skyrocket. This means yes. And this is also part of the reason. Well, good price though. Yeah, 500 for now. Yeah, it's an awesome price. And let's go take a look at Nvidia. Let's go take a look at our buddies over at Nvidia and check out their prices. I bet it's insane. It's going to be insane. Get ready. I hope you got a throw up bag next to you. Cause yeah, there you go. It's still sold out, but they did raise the price to let you know. Like the MSI Nvidia GeForce RTX 5090 Supreme Liquid is now $35.59, and so is ASUS's Nvidia RTX 5090 Astral in white. It is also $35.49.99 for anyone that is interested in it. And they're tough. Now, they're tough card. If anybody knows ASUS's order when it comes to their tiers, you have the ASUS Prime, then you have ASUS Tough, then you have the ASUS Strix, which is the ROG Strix, and then you have the ROG Astral. Those are the 4 tiers when it comes to their GPUs. So right now, their ASUS NVIDIA RTX 5090 Tough, which is their kind of like mid to low tier type of card, is $31.49. That is absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane for that card. So I'm gonna throw the filing GPU right now. the 5070 Ti. Let me see. The 5070 Ti is the price of what the 5080 used to be. Yes, it's ugly. It's really ugly. Let's go down. I'll show you exactly how bad it is. Again, it's sold out. They still are sold out. I don't think we're gonna see this back in stock anytime soon, to be honest. The Astral, the only thing that's actually held decent price, I'm surprised, is the Astral. No, it's gone up $100 actually. Because originally it was $17.99, I believe, for the ASUS NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's went up about $100 for this Astral for the 5080 version. Now, when it comes to the Zotac NVIDIA RTX 5060 Ti, it's gone up slightly, just a little bit, not much. But I believe this is going to be on the uprise as well, because again, it seems that cards that have more memory are going to go up in price here. So the 5070 Ti, yes, let me see, Thumper, the MSI Supreme Liquid is 3,700 on MSI Store. So yes, so you're right, Thumper. So if you saw at the official MSI Store that it's gone up that much, then more than likely it's gone up that much. Noctua's 5080 was 3,200 last week. Are you serious? It went up that much? What? No. Let me see. I'm going to type it in real quick. I'm going to see if we can find it. That's insane. If it went up 3,200. How's that make any sense at all? That's like the price of a RTX 5090. That would be no. Oh, no, it's sold out now. But this is going to go up. It's definitely going to be 1,800 because it seems like the average price for RTX series cards, like we'll look up RTX 5070 Ti. It seems that the average price for these cards have gone up at least $200 each. Oh, now they don't even have any in stock. There was so much panic in purchasing these cards, they ended up running out. So we're going to have to check out their sold outside. Oh, no, in store only. Okay, so you can't buy online. No, they don't have it. Let me try this. Include out of stock items, and we'll check Best Buy too. We'll check them out to see if they have any. That's incredible. Newegg. Oh wow. Yeah, Newegg. Newegg has that. They have that secondary. They have those third-party sellers that end up selling cards too, and that's another site to definitely check out because. Make sure to purchase from a well-known outlet. Make sure to purchase from Newegg and not from a third-party seller because that happens quite frequently. I was able to snag a Zotac 5070 for $500 a couple weeks ago. Oh, really? That's actually not a bad price, to be honest. So the Shadow is the only card that I have not seen increase, but that's going to be $1,000 card for sure. As the 5080 Shadow is now 1,200 sold out. Are we going to see a Shadow anymore? How much is it at the MSI site? I gotta say, when it comes to the Shadow, I'm out of curiosity because their Ventus is this is insane. Like it's all sold out. But we're not getting any real pricing because this is actually all old pricing that's on here. That's what it should be. Like technically, it's going to go up though. Because if you look at, for example, ASUS's NVIDIA, let's look up 5070 Ti again. And then I'm going to have to put it onto, I'm going to have to put it on sold only. So far on the poll, it seems that we got 50-50 mix of people out there that is willing to give Crucial a chance if they return back to the gaming market. And I would assume because of pricing that they're a bit more fair. I could see that, and I could see why some people would resent them for coming back to the market because it almost seems like we're just the leftover choice that they couldn't make it in AI, so now we're the leftovers. So Crucial has to serve us practically. So I could see both sides of that argument. So I'll end that poll and let's take a look here. We're going to go include out of stock items. Okay. So now when you look at the ASUS NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti, now the Prime is at $1,009. Now this is ASUS's lowest tier when it comes to their GPUs. So, well, let me guess it's a Corsair brand. Damn, you're better. I would have got it for free. Grab my skin. You can show the graph on Newegg, 29.25 on the 19th of January. Yes. Ew, not a lot of people are big fans of the Ventus. Looks like the Radeon cards are going down. Not really. It just depends on the model. Like the one we were looking at, the Taichi 9070 XT, that was originally $600 in the beginning of the week. And then by, I think it was, no, actually Saturday, it went up to 650. Last Wednesday, it was $600. So it went up $100 for that card. For the 9060s, I can see from what AMD says. Now, if anybody saw that video, well, from what AMD is saying is that what they will do is instead of stop creating the RX 9060s and any card that's really 8 gigabyte, they're going to actually stop all those cards and focus more on the higher memory pool cards such as 16 gigabytes. So they're going to focus more on 9070 XTs that are 16 gigabytes, and same with the 9060 XTs. So $12.99 plus tax. Yes. Nah, they're not. They've been going up, just not as much. I just hope they leave the R9700 AI alone. I think they have. Let's look it up. The R9700. Yeah, we'll check out Newegg in a bit too, because I am a bit curious to see how they're looking. Thank you, Wasabi, as always, for joining in. My GPU. Yeah, it did. You should see how much it is now, Ricardo. See how much your GPU is worth. The Ventus is a 5070 Ti. I have. Didn't look at the brand. Just wanted to pick up a 5070 Ti. I could get it. Egyptian, what's up? Oh man, it's been a minute. I was just looking at Amazon at Egypt and saw. See, yes, it makes no sense, right? 2026 prices look like it's going to be the worst, and then 2020, it just seems like it just increasingly gets much worse. Okay, so here are the 9700 cards. Okay, so it doesn't look terrible. It's went up a little bit, depending on the type of card you're looking for. Now, if you get the ASRock AMD Radeon AI Pro, I know they have this at the Micro Center. I'm at 1300. That's about the right price. 1300 is XFX Radeon AI Pro R9700. So it seems like they've been holding pretty steady actually for their cards. $500, 90, 70, 16 gigabytes. I saw that. When I saw that, I was like, that's actually not that bad. Sheesh, I paid $1,400 for 128. Oh, geez. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I really want to do this like Threadripper build, but I feel like it's becoming less and less of a real thing for me to do anymore. Because if you look at these deals, I mean, take a look at this. If we look at an AMD bundle and we try to look up a Threadripper deal, we try to work the system a little bit, see if we could get the best deal. And now it's $4,000 for this kit, but it's everybody bought this kit and then they thought they were going to be able to sell the RAM. So what happened was you had so many people that ended up buying this kit because they thought, okay, I get to keep this Threadripper, so let me try to sell the RAM. And then they end up getting the RAM returned. And let me show you. This is how you know. When you click on the RAM here, it's all open box. It's all open box RAM here. So it's like, that's how you know that that they thought they could just sell the RAM by itself. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 7 kits that are open box at Micro Center. So unless something, I'm gonna wait for the next hurricane to hit Florida and then go on a free shopping spree at Best Buy. Yeah, you can do what the whole situation like at Costco, which is more and more people are probably doing this. So for anyone that's just tuning in or just curious about what happened recently, was that over at Costco, you know how they have the section where they had the electronics section. When you first walk in, you see you see the displays, you see the tablets, you see and you also see PCs. Well, over in the PC section, I guess somebody ended up helping themselves to some RAM over there. And they actually opened up the case and took the RAM outside of the PC. So I don't know if the PC was actually running or not. Because can you imagine the error that happened? It probably immediately froze as soon as they probably pulled it out. But anyway, so they took out the RAM and they left the PC the way it was. And then because of that, Costco ended up taking all the RAM out the pre-built PCs and just has them on display without the RAM in there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Best Buy ends up pulling the same move. Maybe, I don't know, Micro Center would do something. I don't think they would, but I could see Best Buy doing it, taking out the RAM outside of the PC before they end up going missing. So 5090 for 20, where do you see a 5090 for 2800? It's hard to see anything under $3,000 at this point. Unless something changes, I could see prices continue to rise until late of this year if Nvidia is able to catch up on their orders and demand. I'm really curious to see how Nvidia handles this. It seems Nvidia is doing everything in their power to focus on AI. Not on us. They don't really care about us that much. They're more focused on evolving, because they already hit the top for us, it seems like. So now AI is their next target. Because again, like, if you guys tuned in to Nvidia's press conference at CES 2026, I'm sure you guys seen it, where Nvidia had nothing to say about the gaming side. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen as soon as Nvidia was kind of kept this. They announced that they're doing a keynote, but it wasn't on their GeForce page. So if it's not on their GeForce page, that means they're not going to mention anything about when it comes to gaming. But of course, later that night, they had a stream announcement where they announced the DLSS 4.5, where they showed some advancements of it. And so they definitely have us on the back burner when it comes on the gaming side. Now, even if Nvidia, say if they do fulfill all those orders, you think they're like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything with AI anymore. That's it. They're going to just continue to grow. They're going to continue wanting to grow when it comes to the whole AI side. So I'm unless something changes. Okay, / says 9950X3D, better bang for the buck. You could afford more than 2 of any GPU you want to interference model with anyway. What's everybody's thoughts about the modified RTX 5090s? How they got that single style blower? Have you guys seen that? Like, for those who modified it for gaming, practically, not gaming, for AI usage. Oh, that's what they're doing over in China. They're actually even selling them. It's pretty wild looking, which I can definitely show you guys in a bit. But if you're curious about the pricing, it's still looking rough. I mean, they're saying it was $1,500 for this kit. So this has been steady. This hasn't really moved much. This has been $876, and it's been locked at this price. Now, what I'm curious about is how many do they have at the store? Which, let's see. Of course, you can pick it up. 18-minute pickup if you go ahead and get Corsair's RAM here. 6,000 megahertz of CL30. It's crazy to think that, okay, just to give you an idea of when it comes to pricing, for $876, originally this RAM kit was more than a 5070 Ti, but now the 5070 Ti is now worth more than the RAM kit, where it should honestly always be the opposite. RAM kit should always be way down. It should be more like a $200 kit. Excuse me. So I can't give what, let me see, 5090 for, can't give my, I get it. If you can get it for 2,800, I'd do it, because it's gonna be very hard to get some 5090s at that price. But they are out of stock, only in back. I have an idea. I have an idea where you're thinking of. DDR6 will never. It almost seems like that. I do agree. I think DDR6 was very close to coming out. I think we would have seen it when Intel comes out with their new generation, their new desktop generation. But from what it looks like, I don't think Nova Lake is going to have DDR6, and they'll end up pushing DDR5 instead. I certainly don't think that they're going to push it. Try Pro Vantage. Oh yeah. Wow, 264 gigabytes of Crucial Pro 5600 megahertz was my choice. Crucial forced to hold up the lifetime warranties and clocks to 6,000. Yes, I'm telling you, Crucials are great. They are decent RAM. Now, of course, you probably heard a lot. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, got sidetracked there because I just looked at the MSI Shadow and it says $1,200. But yeah, just like what you're saying, they're decent RAM kits. Originally, a lot of people didn't get Crucial because you can't really do too much overclocking with them. But again, most people end up putting on Expo profiles anyway, so it's like it doesn't really matter as much if that's the case. So this is how much their Shadow is. They're advertising it as 1200. I can see them wanting to go up. Let's go into MSI. Let's go into MSI store. And let's check it out because I'm just curious to see what it looks like on there. So we're gonna go check out their graphics card. We're gonna check their 50 series, the Oris or RTX 5060 Ti AI box. And so yeah, oh, what's up, Puro? It's been a minute. I've been great. How about yourself? Let's take a look here. I'm just curious to see how they advertise it. Let's see. Now this is the 5080, and we're gonna look for the Shadow. Okay, so on the Shadow, they still have it for $1,150. So that's actually decently priced. That's actually not a bad price. So if you get a 5080, that would probably be towards the option to go with if you want to get a 5080. So keep an eye on a Shadow. The only thing it doesn't have is it doesn't have the RGBs you might not be looking for. But everything still seems like it hasn't moved too crazy. Not on MSI side, at least. All good. The PC is working great, and I've been streaming on it lately. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that everything's worked out. Let's see. At the rate EV cars may be getting more expensive because the screens have RAM. Yes, it's going to be. Oh yeah. Well, what are you getting, Squeeze? Let us know. Let us know what you're getting. What type of RAM? What type of GPUs are coming in for you? Would love to know. Especially in my RAM stick in my PC dies. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. It is Squeeze, but it is Squeeze, so I can definitely see that. If this makes automakers go back to the button instead, I'm all for it. Looking at, it's funny. I was looking at that car. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it's practically all touch. What happened? You mean the RAM prices? Or did it blow out your power supply finally for overclocking it? Of course, you'd be the only guy that do it. That would do something like that. Overclock your power supply. Okay, so we're going to look at RTX 5080s. And if you're taking a look on Newegg here, you can see how disgusting these prices are. So, Astral, 1900. Average price. Now, the thing you have to be careful most when you are purchasing a GPU, Hash, what's up? Yes, unfortunately, yes, the 50 series is getting more and more expensive. Oh, your RAM died. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't know you could do. Well, that's Squeeze. Squeeze does that. Yeah, he had a 450 watt power supply, and he ends up trying to overclock. He puts it up to what, 600 watts? It's time to switch, to be honest. Even Macs are looking sketchy. Because even if you look at the MacBooks, they've gone up in pricing. And that's because the storage has gone up, the storage solution, and the pricing when it comes to RAM. So they're also more expensive. Unfortunately, this is like a domino effect. This doesn't just affect the whole PC market in a sense. It also affects everybody else, including the laptop makers. Rainbow, what's going on, Mr. Rainbow? Yes, let's hope the pricing becomes a bit more fair. We're gonna set it to only in stock, and what I highly suggest everyone to do when you are on Newegg, make sure to click sold only by Newegg. And then you're going to only get the cards that Newegg has. So For example, this ROG Astral, we know it's 19. Now we look at the RTX 5080, which is the Prime. That's too much. That's way too much. For a Prime card, $1,500? Now, again, this is set. Right now, it is set on in stock and sold only by Newegg. So for them to sell it for that much, that's insane. That makes no sense. That's almost $500 more than Micro Center. Don't buy this. If anyone sees this, do not buy this. Do not buy this. Unless, if you're going to go to Micro Center, I get it. If you're really desperate, I get it. But $1,500, that's $500 more. I'm holding on my RTX 5090 on my... Yes. Everyone that has a 50 series or 40 series even. The 4090 is a great card, by the way. If there's any 4090 owners out there, please let me know. I'd love to know you guys out there, because that card is, I gotta say, it's turned out to be a gem. That's definitely a gem of its time. Definitely was underrated. One of the underrated cards that were out there compared when it came to the 40 series. But I gotta say, that's a decent card. It says, happy about the 5070 Ti for $720 US. Unhappy only bought 32 gigabytes in June when it was dirt cheap. I don't need Crash. What's up? What's up, Crash Out? Now that I do. Is that the new pricing, possibly Micro Center? Yes, it's possible. It's possibly the older stock will switch over, because I'll actually show you. RTX 5080. And we're going to look up the Prime specifically, because just to see the price difference between the two. Now, whoa. That did go up. That did go up. $1,500 for it. Okay, so it is $1,500 now. That's expensive for an Asus Prime card. That's really expensive. That should be much more closer to the. No, actually, what I was thinking of, I think I got mixed up there. The 5070 Ti Prime is $1,000. The 5080 is $1,500. That makes more sense. But it should not be $1,500 still. It should be closer to, at the minimum, $1,200. I say at the maximum $1,200, not the minimum. At the maximum $1,200 for this card, or $1,250, because that's ridiculous. $1,500. That's pretty close to like the higher end cards when it comes to Asus's 5080s. Yes, that's insane. They might change to the RTX Ultra 6. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they change from RTX. Okay. I got a great question for you guys. Everyone that's here, I got a great question for you. Do you think that NVIDIA will add AI to their new GPU, to their next gen cards? GPUs. I'll say GPUs. You ready? There you go. Yes, I see the yes already. That was fast. Yes, I think so too. I think it's not going to be called RTX anymore. It's going to be called like maybe AI 100 or something. NVIDIA AI 100. Egyptian, you're back. DTX DLSS Tracing Extreme. It's not even a question. Dear Lord, yes. Oh man, yes. NVIDIA's AIX. Oh, that sounds right, man. Look at all the yeses. Not one person thinks they're gonna not add AI to their poll. It's gonna be rough. Now, can you just imagine the whole thing now? Like when they come out with DLSS, it's going to be DLSS AI now. Even though they emphasize it with AI is already, as it is. 6,000 AI. Picked up at Walmart. Oh, really? Damn. That's a good deal. I, it's good to go to places like Best Buy and Walmart. Reason being is because they're like a little bit behind when it comes to things like this. Or if you guys even go to Staples or Office Max, if there's one near you, check it out. You might be surprised. They might still have it like for dirt cheap. That's like a hack right there. So if you have one like close to you, just check it out. Even though if you're not sure if they would have it, just look. You might be able to pick up something good for cheap. It's happened with memory. Like people actually picked up memory for dirt cheap from Office Max or from Staples. AMD playing the long game with the videos. Yes. AI Max, right? Like their AI Max chips. Oh yeah, my GPU is the very last NVIDIA GPU not to have AI cores. Has ASUS solved the issue with burning up? So I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't seen any press releases about it. For anyone that is AI ASUS, I can see it. They gotta emphasize it, right? I got this email. I'm gonna answer your question real quick too, Wicket. But I did end up getting this email from AMD, and it was not AMD, ASUS. It was ASUS and NVIDIA working together for AI solutions. Make sure to join in quick to be part of that stream. I was like, I'm not even going to entertain this. I went straight I just straight up deleted that one. Now, when it comes to but coming to ASUS and when it comes to the burning of the 9800X 3Ds, to answer your question, they haven't given any type of release about what exactly has happened just quite yet. I plan on talking to somebody actually tomorrow at ASUS, and if when I talk to him, I'll see if I can pull some answers and see if the theory that I have when it comes to the 9800X 3Ds, I will certainly let you know
is now
if it's true or not. Thank you for following, Asterix. I will certainly let you know if it's true.
Andrew Seed subscribed to the channel.
Thank you, Andrew, for subscribing. Also, I will let you know if there's any type of change when it comes to from the theory that I have about the 9800X 3Ds. I believe it's going to be spot on just from seeing all the different cases on from all the different reports that people have with the 9800X 3D. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit more of the whole microcode side. So they pull old crap. Yes, absolutely, Asterix. That's it. What's the price? I will. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. But I believe. But for now, for anyone that has a 9800X 3D and you have an ASUS board, just make sure to set your voltages at 1.2 volts, and you'll be completely safe. There won't be any issues then. That's where a lot of the problems are coming from. It's just from that mostly. When it came from AceRock, there was a variation of a couple of issues when it came to voltages and voltage spikes. So that certainly, again, the 9800X 3Ds, a very finicky chip. It's only 120 watts of power, so it doesn't like extra heat. And once you induce extra heat to that processor, it's going to burn. So just ensure that it's running at stable at 1.2. And I emphasize stable. Don't run any type of curve optimizers or PBO where it's going to risk going over that 1.2. You could choose to go over it. Sure, you might be running great at 1.3, just for example, but I wouldn't suggest doing it, because if you can end up just like that guy that ended up using his PC for a full year, everything was great, and then one day he wasn't able to turn it on anymore. So you don't want to end up like that. No, not ready for snow. Good thing is, it's gonna be that cold, but I don't think we're gonna see any snow. Not in Miami, at least. It's good, but it is gonna get like down below, like as low as 34 degrees, which is about 2 degrees Celsius. So it's going to be cold. ASUS NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 Prime is $670. So it's gone up quite a bit, like roughly like about $110, I would say. It's funny, they don't even have the price that's right next to it where they cross it off, just like how they have the Zotac right here where it was 650, but now it's 550. Zotac's actually a decent deal. If you guys got to see that, I actually upgraded a PC with the Zotac 5070. It's a great GPU, by the way, and for only 550, that would be a great choice to go with, along with the Gigabyte NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 WindForce, but this is the short form factor version of it. Now, prices of the 50 series and RAM is crazy. I agree. It's just going to get worse. The reason why 5070 should be not too bad. And the reason being is because NVIDIA's emphasizing more when it comes to 5070s. The ones that they want to pull out of more is going to be 5070 Ti's, 5080s, and even the 5090s. Because they're trying to focus a bit more when it comes to their, again, the whole AI side of things. They want to focus more on creating more models. Guys, someone just said high-end monitors have RAM. I can see it. There's, again, SSDs. Some SSDs actually have RAM in it. Some of them are RAMless, of course, but there are RAM out there. Not RAM. There are SSDs out there that has RAM in it. There's even if it snows in Miami, then the rest of us are under a claim. yeah, pretty much. It would be pretty rough. What should I do with my dead RAM? Take it apart. Be like the guy from Russia. I don't know if you saw him or not, but he ended up actually taking it apart. Find out which DRAM is dead, remove it, and then solder the new RAM on. That's like the cheap solution to do it. Get some new DRAM, or just find another kit that's bad and test it out. See if it works. I would assume maybe you could check it for continuity to see if there's like any type of communication on the RAM. Check the solders. That's what I'd do, and then then try to solder it on. Since you like to tinker with stuff, that's what you can do. Asterisk says, for me in 2025 and 2026, cut off 8GB GPUs and make 12 gigabytes mid-range. I agree. That should be more the standard. 8GB should not be no longer the standard anymore in 2026. I mean, take a look at what the standard was back 5 years ago. It's just insane. It's like pretty much like 8GB stuck around for a pretty long time. 8GB used to be a lot when the 9080 was around. So, that just tells you the GTX 9080. So, the standard needs to change. After I... what? Oh, man. I love this. After I see Micro Center sells out across the US, bought the ASUS 5090 Astral off a Newegg. Oh, really? Really? You spent that much on it? That's insane. Really? That's crazy. But you did get if you got the warranty and stuff, I see that, but damn, that's a lot to spend on an Astral. Especially because originally the price is $3,100 for it. Amy says, my Ryzen 7 5700X is using a Cooler Master at 240mm core idle. Is at 38 Celsius. Is it good? That's excellent. I don't see no problems with it. And I'm using PPO2 at really 200 and negative 17 on the curve. Oh, 200. I'm assuming your cores. Yeah, no, that's decent. That's actually excellent. Yeah, thumbs up on you. If you're getting decent temperatures, I'm saying yes. That seems fair. And it's a 5700X, so you have a bit more flexibility on it when it comes to it. I don't have the heat, only the solder gun. I could put it on my PS4 and then mod it. Yeah, do it. Why don't we do all our own play? I know at this point. There was a guy on YouTube experimenting to see if he could repair RAM in case there's a market for RAM repair. I could see it being plausible because technically when RAM goes bad, it's not all of the DRAM that's on there. Let me see. Let me pull some RAM out. Okay. Oh, I can't see it. I was gonna say, damn. It would look like. Yeah, I don't have any RAM that's exposed. If I had some RAM that was exposed, each one has a DRAM on it. It's like usually like probably like about like 2 or 4 gigabytes each of DRAM on there. So what you would do is you would figure out which DRAM is bad, and then you can remove it and then technically put a new one to replace it. And if you put a new one on there, whether if it's used, if it was another DRAM kit that was bad, you just place that same DRAM. Just make sure it's the same type of just make sure it's the same type of die when it is installed, pretty much. Because then that way you can make sure that it's compatible and it works. Otherwise, it's not going to work too well. Or if it does, it's going to be very flaky. So I would suggest doing that if anyone is interested in trying to modify one. I think that would be quite an interesting project, so to say. Definitely has me a bit intrigued to see if there's some bad RAM sticks, but I'm pretty sure that there would be a market for it for people just to do it themselves. Let's see. I'm glad my 5070 Ti. I got my yes. It's good that you got it. So if anybody needs a GPU out there, make sure you do end up getting it, because again, it's just gonna constantly get worse. I mean, you take a look at these. You look at the pricing as it is now. Now, specifically, the 5070 won't be bad, or the 9070 XTs. Like, it's went up about $100. It's not terrible quite yet, but also be careful of purchase. No, the MX7 pace. I just saw your comment, Metal Face. No, I haven't tried it. I'm really curious about it. I would love to try it. I did do some research, and I saw that they actually have, instead of MX7 pace, there's another one that's actually even cooler. I think it was on 360, on 365. They actually mentioned it, and they said that they were using the pads. The pads actually were quite cooler, like about like 5 degrees cooler. I'll look up the name again, but I'll look up the pad and I'll share it with you. Let's see. And a little bit lost in my comments here. Sorry about that, guys. I thought some RAM supposedly had some lifetime. No. This is false. Never believe in a lifetime warranty when it comes to RAM. So that poll's removed. We have 100% sure that NVIDIA is going to rename their card back to AI. So get ready for AI Series 6000 coming out. So people did do that by hand. Thank you, sir. But MX6 is still good. You know what's actually really good? I personally love Arctic Silver, but I know more and more people are trying to stay away from thermal paste that is a bit is a conductive, and Arctic Silver is a bit. And but yeah, I gotta say right now, I've been interested in using Cryonet, and MX7 would be good too. Let me see. I got a few different options here. Now this one's a big boy of thermal paste right there. This one's a good one too. I don't know if you got. Hopefully you guys can see that clearly there. Yeah, there we go. This is a big pack of some thermal grizzly. This is the Cryonaut stuff. This is just some standard Corsair stuff. I got MX4. I did have Arctic Silver, but Arctic Silver is trash now, because that ended up actually hardening up, so I couldn't use it anymore. So yeah, the pads. That's something to try. How are the prices for the Samsung 9100 Pro SSD now? Yeah, I'll show you. It's rough. It is definitely rough. My summer on hot is hot, but my house is not. My house is usually 68. Oh, really? That's actually pretty cool. Arctic 4 or Arctic 6. I mean, the price is not that different. If you're to choose between the two, honestly, just go 4 is fine. 4 is good. 6 is decent. MX7 is like supposed to be like a breakthrough when it comes to their thermal solution. I'd say give it a shot. Go with MX7 if you can. I'm pretty sure it's decent. Oh wow. Yeah, so actually it's been fluctuating. Not really fluctuating actually. Because originally you could get it as low as $180 back on Prime deals back in October of 2025. Then Black Friday came around and it pushed up about $200. Once it hit about December, it went up to like about roughly about 250, I think it was 240, 250, and then January came, hit 300, and now it's 315 for 2 terabytes of SSD RAM, which is insane. That's a lot. That's a lot for 2 terabytes. Um, oh, really? He has thermal paste. I had no idea he had some. I strongly recommend the cryo sheets. Yes, that's what I figured it was. I think it was the cryo sheets. Maybe that was one of the thermal pads that I heard that was excellent. I grabbed the 4 terabytes. Sadly, my board only supports 4, so you can't utilize the full speed. I mean, it's still going to be incredibly fast. And what do you use the SSD for anyway? By the way, I just got to ask. Because you might not really miss the speed as much. And he has WireView Pro 2 for the 12-volt high power. Oh, really? Oh, that's dope. I paid yeah, it's getting much worse. How much RAM does a great a killer bite? Nice. Love the jokes here. WireView Pro 11 must be. Chris, show us your phone collection. My phone collection? Why? I don't think anyone's interested in my phone collection. I think everyone's a bit more concerned about the RAM. I still got one that's sitting in a box too, because I'm waiting on the build, and the build. No, not this one. Where's it at? Here it is. So I got this one, and originally I got this back when I went to Micro Center. I think back in September. I didn't pay $300 for it. It was only 100 and I think I paid $200 for it. I didn't have to pay tax on this one, but I ended up picking this up. But I never got to use it yet because we're still waiting on that build. There's 2 PC builds that are coming that we're gonna do. It's a Project BTF, and the other one's gonna be Project Aura. Now we're just waiting on a couple components here, and we'll finally put this together. But it's pretty crazy to think these items are so expensive anymore. So you use your 9100 Pro for media file transfer. Oh, okay. So from your Plex server, I'm assuming it's hard drive too, right? Even though it could be, oh yeah, anything can be faster, but it's all about like if you have the money to spend. No one uses liquid metal thermal. Yeah, I don't think anyone uses that either. Don't be trying to. Definitely can do it in definitely can find some in Florida here in Miami. Find some sharks. So, but yes, so RAM is just constantly going up in price. The Samsung 9100 Pro 8 terabyte is now officially over $1,000. It's $1,050 if you want 8 terabytes of RAM. I have a lot of phones, squeeze. And they're all mostly. I have of course the one I use currently is iPhone 17 Pro Max. Then I had the 15 Pro Max, and also I have quite a bit of Samsung phones, the S9 and S22 Ultra. I use Conduct Nut on my laptop. I can never say that right. I'm currently top 3 in the world on 3. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. You gotta share this. You gotta show it off on Discord. Join in on our Discord. Would love for you guys to join. And there it is. That's funny. Funny timing. It just came up by itself. For anyone that wants to join in on Discord, feel free to, and make sure to join the wonderful membership. To join the members roundtable. I built an AI rig for $6,000 a month ago. Same cost is about $7. Yes, it's insane. It's literally that's like so right then and there. It's gone up like almost 10%. Like if you think about it, that's a lot. That is a lot. And then, so if anyone wants to get an NVMe, I'll just show you how crazy inflated it is. Sure, this is PCI Express 5, but if you take a look at PCI Express 4, that's even a lot of money. Like if you look at a 990 Pro at 2 terabytes, how much do you think it is? How much do you think it is the question. And you might be quite surprised at the pricing here. You ready? It's loaded up. Of course it doesn't come up. There it is. $300, guys, for a PCI Express 4. $300. What's the most affordable good NVMe to run on Linux? Damn, under 20 bucks. I wish. Remember, guys, you can save $38. You can save $38. It was $337. I know, it's ugly, right? Exactly. And tell me how that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense, right? It's literally slower. It's like 2 times slower. Nice squeeze. That's quite the collection. Western Digital SN7100 Gen 4 costs more than Alexa. Really? No wonder. You know what's funny? They usually they use normal paste. Let me see. Out of curiosity, I'm gonna look that up. The 7100. Western. I don't know if they changed their name yet or not. Because now they're changing the Western Digital name over to SanDisk. So this is all their old stock, technically. They're calling it SanDisk Optium. That's what the new SAS hard drives are sold. What about Munchkin? Munchkin, there's some underrated brands out there too. Ezekiel, what's up? Everything's all good. It's been a while. Good to see you. My motherboard says door nut. That doesn't mean... Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, right? And I guarantee you this probably was sitting on the shelf for at least like 2 years. I know some of this stuff is. Only $869 for 4 terabytes, guys. And this is Gen 4. This isn't even the 8100. What's up, 2D? I need to buy a second 16 terabyte drive for my Plex server. Do it. Well, you can't. I'm in the same boat. I really want to build a network attached system badly. So I want to do something similar to your idea. I want to really focus on expanding like a cloud. And yeah, not with these prices. I don't want to pay these prices. Chris, how is my CPU pulling 229 watts, not just on 400, but with no cooler on DVRMs? What? Nah, that's hard for me to believe. Yeah, I'll take 2. Let's look. I'll show you. If we look at Western Digital's 8100. Western Digital's 8100 is their PCI Express 5. Now I can see this being more, but that is a lot of money. Where did this price come from? That is insane. This is Micro Center, guys, so this isn't like no third party or nothing. Wow. Just to let you know, if you verify your account, you can save an extra $145. You can save $145 if you choose to get the Western Digital SN8100 2 terabyte. It's $645. You can get $145 off of it. Well, I feel like it's funny to say this. It almost makes the US dollar look like pesos now. Like it looks like $645 is like nothing. How's that nothing? That's a lot of money. And then $145 off. It's not even like you're usually hearing like 10, 20, maybe $50 off, but $145. All that for yes. It's insane, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's yes. No, it's looking scary. Oh, get this. If you get the Western Digital 4 terabyte, if you guys look at right next to it, it says that if you get that, you save $450. So if you verify your account, you can save $490. What is? Oh, now that wants to give a number. Okay, so now what's if you have to ask how much you probably can't afford, pretty much. That's what it seems like. So so technically you're gonna still spend like $700, like roughly about $710, or no, 690, or six. I know it's a lot of money. It's no joke. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I have the Intel 512 gigabyte 3200. Oh, really? That's all. You know, I still have an Optium drive too from Intel. It's a decent one. It's PCI Express 3. I think it's just sitting there in the drawer. But that even then, that's probably going up a lot in pricing. Now, if anyone's looking for deals, I highly recommend, if you're building a PC, go for the bundle first. Go for a bundle. It's definitely the safe bet. Man, you know, Micro Center could really benefit if they end up going with a instead of just going CPU, motherboard, and RAM, they should add SSD to the kit too. I bet they would do really good.
Mirko Mirkovic, subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. Why does I, you know, I have a contact at SanDisk, and I will ask. I will ask them and see what they say. I would love to hear why they're so much why they're superior over than any other SSD company that's out there. Because okay, let's look at a couple more prices here. I'm curious, because if we look at storage, we're gonna look at all solid state drives. Oh no, internal. Even the page errored out. Even Micro Center's page said, I can't do this. This doesn't make sense. Okay, so Crucial. Crucial actually still has some affordable stuff. But again, this is the P510. The P510, which is their original PCI Express 5 SSD, is $209.99. So this came, oh, it's sold out. All right, let me uncheck sold out items. Of course it's sold out. 150. Yeah. Isn't that crazy how you can say 150 is not bad for 2 terabytes these days, when we know it's pretty damn sad. It should not be. It should be nowhere near that price. What will happen? You told me. I'm doing the best. All I can do is keep trying to do the best I can, and what we can do is try to adapt. That's all. Just adapt with the time. I just hope the worst thing is, what I fear for everyone is that you're going to see more and more AI channels. Because that's a big thing. I mean, like, even if you go on Newegg here, right? You go on Newegg. This threw me off here. I noticed this when we were searching for GPUs here. If you go on components and storage, and say you look up, I don't know. Let's look up memory. And let's see. And on the side panel, it makes no sense. On the side panel here, maybe not from memory. Maybe it was in GPU. Where did I find it? DDR. I'm just looking at this real quick. DDR5 6000 megahertz for 16 gigabytes is $230. That's insane. For 16 gigabytes. That's 8 gigabytes each. Uh, Blame 2020. Crazy mess. Everything sold. Yeah, I call for start of dumpster dive build. Yeah, it probably will end up. We're gonna end up going to garage builds. Everything's gonna look almost apocalyptic at that point. You're gonna see PC builds made out of like some crazy stuff. People knew that was happening. I can't even read this stuff on this. I like building bicycles out of found parts. it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that. I think was it on the Newegg? Where was it? Where did I see this? Maybe it was under GPUs, or maybe when I was searching. Let me try. I'm gonna put RTX 5080 again, and this is what I saw. This is what I saw. That kind of like said, like this is enough. Because when you take a look on the side here, on the side panel, do you guys see that? What it says? I'm gonna buy PC. yeah, yeah. You might as well just get as many PC cases as you can. Crucial 1 terabyte SSD is 120 euros. That's crazy. On Amazon, it was late 2024. Well, if you look on the side, you see. Do you notice that too? How it says AI ready as one of the tickers. Like that's what people are looking for. Let me just turn that on. I'm just curious to see what happens. Okay, so it's PCs. It's all PCs they mean. At first I thought they were pointing at PC components, but they mean like actual PCs. You know what's interesting? DuckDuckGo actually did a poll. And they pulled a poll and they asked everyone in their search engine, would they like to have AI integrated into the search engine? And out of this poll, 90% of users out there said that they would not like to have AI integrated in their search platform. Only 10% of users want to have AI also integrated in the search. So it's just like when you go on Google, if you search something on Google, it automatically comes up with the context from Google's Gemini. Now, of course, that's also using resources, but not everyone is also happy with it. Again, Google is trying to evolve and trying to become more relevant to when it comes to searching for items. Like if you need help with something, like what people usually ask AI, now you can ask Google because they also have Gemini. I do get that side of it, but isn't that kind of a contradiction when you talk about wasting resources when you have it straight on the search engine? And I think working stick of 8 gigabytes of DDR. Oh, let me see. Yorkshire man. Do you know what's funny? I just literally built my girlfriend a PC after Christmas for 2,300 euros. 9800 X3D, 32 gigabytes DDR5, 1 terabyte SSD at 5070 Ti. Yeah, you did great. You actually made it out decent because it's so bad now. Hey, I can be happy with a 980 Ti if it still performs. I'm gonna start selling pre-builds, but no GPUs or RAMs. You know, honestly, at this point, it might actually be a good idea to purchase a PC like this and just pull the parts out. Like you can just buy a PC like this and you'll make out because you pulled out the GPU and the RAM. I know, pre-built pickle it started. I do like the LSG. How much testing FPS? I might stockpile some CMOS batteries too. It might go. Not a bad idea.
Murtada Al Hussein subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. I use pounds. Oh, I apologize. Pounds. Far Harbor Marine, what's up? My first car cost 1,000 less than a PC build last year. You know, it's going to get to the point where our PC builds are going to exceed our car. It really is. It's going to get to the point where it exceeds most people's cars at this point. but I just fear that cars will also go up. Nero, for pre-built companies, you know how I feel about pre-builts. If you had to go pre-built, honestly, Cyber Power PC isn't bad. It's a decent brand. They do have this ABS brand that's not that bad from Newegg as well. Micro Center has Inland if you're looking for a pre-build. Those are three brands you can pretty much go to, but Cyber Power PC would definitely be more or so in the top. If you're looking for a bit more customizable, I would say you can go Meta PCs, or you can even email me and I can quote you a price on it as well as when it comes to PCs. Um, did you check out the Micro Center bundle for RAM? Yes, I've been checking them out recently. Let's see, because when it comes to their bundles, if you're looking for an AMD bundle, just say it's definitely better to go ahead and get a bundle like from this 7600 X3D bundle is not bad because as I was telling everybody earlier, it's not always best to have dual RAM. Maybe we're just we're just coping right now because of how expensive everything is. So we're just coping for having dual RAM. But anyway, single RAM actually runs well too. So if you really need to save some money and you're trying to build a PC, honestly, this kit's not bad for a 7600 X3D, BA50, and a 16 gigabyte RAM. Is a 5060 it's decent for a budget build, assuming you're gaming 1080p. If you're gaming 1080p, it would be good. Krauser, what's going on? Is it AI natural intelligence? Because friends, don't let friends buy a pre-built PC. Don't. The only place I don't recommend buying a pre-built PC is Temu. Don't go to Temu to buy a pre-built PC. You don't want to end up on the next Reddit post. Adore Yuji just sold my Asus TUF Gaming motherboard C390 i9 9900 for DDR4 for $200. So someone can. That was nice. That was really nice of you. Especially because of how expensive everything is. It's great for somebody to start off with. 9060 XT60. That's decent. How old is it? How old is the 9060? The only pre-built I would buy is a laptop. Well, yeah, we don't got much choice then. I hate how much RAM is. I have a feeling that SSD prices are going to go up a bit more. I agree. I think they will continuously go up. You know, you know what they're trying to tell everybody now. I do get the idea. I do understand why they want to do it. It makes sense if you have specifically an X3D. Because technically, if you have an X3D, you don't need as much RAM. Because you're going to be using.
Michael Cox subscribed to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. I gotta say, technically, you might not need as much, especially if it goes for the gaming side. But it's because of the Vcache. But it doesn't mean everyone's going to have an X3D processor, or everyone is interested in using an X3D chipset or a chip. Everyone's going to prefer to use whatever processor they use, whether if it's Intel or if it's AMD, like say 98 or 9950X. So they're going to still need to have motherboards out there that integrate that have to have RAM slots, not just a single RAM slot, because that would get sad. Everything would look like a small form factor because they just have the 2 RAM slots and that's it. Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't done that a bit more because it almost seems like nobody wants to use 4 sticks of RAM because, of course, that can take away a bit of performance as well. But that's a whole nother debate for another day. So Ernesto says it used to be cheaper to build your own back in a day. Like, it's crazy to think like 2025 September almost seems like a lifetime ago, just because of how bad the situation is now. Tiffany, What Michael said? I missed out on it. Best dual towers. I'm even upgrading my i7 5930 to 6950X, turning my 12-year-old rig into a 10-year-old one. Buffer, buffer, buffer. I just got the bundle with the 7500 extra D. What do you think is a good GPU to pair with it? Get the 9070 XT. I'm telling you, the 9070 XT is a awesome GPU. You won't have to pay nearly top premium dollar for something like that. So I go with it. Go with the 9070 XT. You'd certainly be happy with it. I really don't think they want us. It almost seems like that. It almost seems like NVIDIA wants us to go into GeForce Now, and then we're limited to 100 gigabytes of only not 100 gigabytes for data usage, which is ridiculous. Like you know how 100 hours, like 100 gigabytes, 100 hours of usage when it comes to using GeForce Now, which makes no sense. Like how fast somebody can burn up 100 hours of gameplay in a month. For and it's crazy. They're starting to really push it too, like when it comes to like a lot of LG displays and everything too as well. Yeah, I know. I do know, Squeeze. Metal Face, why people get low CPU. Has 9060 XT, 7800 XT. He had games at 160 hertz monitors. 5070 matters when we get the 5080 90. Yes, I agree. So, fam, guys, just to let you know, I have to get going. It was great talking to everybody. Make sure to join in on Saturday's upcoming stream, which is going to be which is always at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure to join in, subscribe, follow, join in on the Discord, join the roundtable, join us members. Would love to see you there. And hopefully everyone gets the kits that they want. Feel free to ask any of the questions that you have, or if you have any burning questions you really want to know, you can certainly ask in Discord, and or you can even let me know at the roundtable. I'm building AM4 rigs. I sold my Ryzen 7. I'll answer that last question, or is it not a question? But thank you for coming in, Dusty Feathers. Awesome, you're still building AM4s, by the way. But thank you for everyone coming in. I do appreciate everybody here. Yes, we gotta love streaming. Hopefully this whole AI nonsense comes to an end, right? I don't want to pay $600 for 2 terabytes of PCI Express solid state drives. PCI Express 5, that's it. That's all we're paying. But thank you guys so much for coming in, and I do appreciate everybody out there, and have a great night and enjoy gaming.